What's up, everybody? It's Ryan from FistfulOfPotions.com, and E3 is upon us. Games are being announced, things are being shown, hype is being generated. Among a few of those games being announced, one that was kind of near and dear to my heart is Little Big Planet 3. I know I've spent many hours with Little Big Planet 1 and 2, and I kind of had some insight into Little Big Planet 3 being announced, so I was sort of expecting it. But I wasn't expecting the announcement that we got. Last year at E3, Media Molecule, the developer of Little Big Planet 1 and 2, came out and showed off a new thing that they were working on. I don't even know if I'd call it a game. It's just like a weird tech demo that they were developing. And it was really interesting, and I thought that was going to be insight into what their next project could be. Then when I heard from a reliable source that Little Big Planet 3 was going to be at E3 this year, I figured, well, 2 and 2 together, whatever that thing was last year is going to be representative of what Little Big Planet 3 will be. Unfortunately, no, that's not the case, and that's not what was announced. They announced Little Big Planet 3, everyone kind of went, woo, and then realized, wait, that's not Media Molecule. What's going on here? And to be honest, my initial impression of the game, it looks like Little Big Planet 2. Like, Little Big Planet 2 was not a bad looking game. In fact, it's a really good looking game. Supposedly this is running on PS4 hardware, but it just doesn't look like a PS4 game. It looks like a PS3 game. Also, it doesn't seem like much has improved or changed. They've added 3 new character types to play as. And I don't know how I feel about changing the dynamic of Little Big Planet like that. The fact that you have to solve puzzles now with the different player types or the different character types kind of changes what Little Big Planet was about. And it almost feels like we're getting to the point where the franchise is jumping the shark. It's also important to remember that this isn't Media Molecule, so whatever they were working on that wasn't Little Big Planet 3, and presumably it won't be Little Big Planet 4 either. It'll be an entirely new IP. So Media Molecule is basically done with this franchise, and they're moving on with something else. A really important fact was, I believe it might have been like a year and a half ago, Sony announced something called Little Big Planet Hub. And Little Big Planet Hub was supposed to embody everything that Little Big Planet 1 and Little Big Planet 2 had, as far as the story levels, all the user-created levels, everything into one app that was free to download and free to play on the PlayStation 3. Which sounded awesome. It sounded like a great way to get into Little Big Planet and really play it. They announced this week that Little Big Planet 3 will have Little Big Planet 1 and 2's levels all playable within the game itself on the PlayStation 4. So then, did Little Big Planet Hub just turn into Little Big Planet 3? And if that's the case and it's free, then that's actually kind of awesome. It's not what I would have hoped for Little Big Planet 3, but it's still pretty cool. And unfortunately, the reality of it is that it's not. This is a $60 game. They want full retail price for this game, and they're giving you access to the game. So what happened to Little Big Planet Hub? Did that idea just get scrapped? Did they realize, hey, we can just sell this to people as a new game, just throw another studio on it and make it? If that's the case, then Little Big Planet has just turned into a cash-in, and that's incredibly unfortunate for what I feel is one of Sony's stronger franchises of the PlayStation 3 era. It definitely defined the PlayStation 3 for kid gaming outside of third-party support, with obviously like the Lego games and things like that. As far as first-party gaming, I mean, whenever somebody talked about, oh, well, should I get a Wii for my kids to play? Like, oh no, you can get a PS3 and you can play Little Big Planet with your kids. And now it seems like the franchise is kind of on its way out, unfortunately. Talking a little bit about the new characters that they've added in, they showed a stage presentation of this, and we got through almost all of the presentations with our FOP bingo card, and one of the squares in the bingo card was a stage demo has issues, and we had not checked that box. It had been a solid E3 so far, but the E3 stage presentation for Little Big Planet 3 unfortunately forced us to check that box. here's new mechanics that we still don't fully understand how they work or have not finished developing yet, is kind of the impression that I got out of it, where they were showing odd sock and wall jump, but the person playing odd sock couldn't figure out exactly how to wall jump, so it doesn't look as intuitive. When we saw Little Big Planet for the first time, everything looked easy, it looked fun, it was just a platforming game, it was simple, it was, I don't know, it was simple, I guess is the correct way to put it. Also, the fact that you have to rely on these other characters to solve puzzles begs the question, how does that work in a single-player environment? If I wanted to play Little Big Planet 3 by myself, do I need to have these 3 other computer-controlled players that I switch between? They didn't really address that at the show, but it also kind of goes back to like franchises that jumping the shark, if you will, forcing new characters, new gameplay mechanics outside of what's traditionally known for the game. For an announcement that should be one of my biggest or most hype-generating announcements of E3, this was unfortunately a bit of a letdown and kind of underwhelming. When they showed the logo on the screen, the crowd started clapping. My immediate reaction was just incredible amounts of hype. And then almost instantly, I was completely deflated as everything just started rushing in and started to kind of have that realization that this is not what I had thought it was. I'm not saying that Little Big Planet 3 is going to be a bad game by any means. It'll probably be a fun game, but I think the franchise has definitely been maxed out. I think Media Molecule has realized that. I think Sony has realized that as well. I'm very frustrated with them if they've ditched the Little Big Planet hub and gone for the cash grab with just making a haphazard Little Big Planet 3. But it is sad to see this franchise go, and it is sad to see them go out in this way. So if you saw the announcement for Little Big Planet 3 at E3, I would hold reservations until we see more from the game, because as of right now, it looks like a PS3 game on a PS4, and the new gameplay mechanics are probably going to add more confusion and more complexity to the game that was originally designed around simplicity.